Okay, we're going to walk the grounds of 5818 Sharpsburg Pike in Sharpsburg, Maryland. This is the view from Route 65, also known as Sharpsburg Pike. That's the driveway. This is both views. Just down that way a little bit on the left is the entrance to Antietam Battlefield. As we walk up the driveway, to the right and to the left is property that belongs to 5818 Sharpsburg Pike. This area outside of the fence, which is mowed all the way up to that tree up there in the distance you can see, and on the right it's mowed all the way to the neighbor's tree, which is the bigger tree beyond the telephone pole. Entering the fenced area, we'll start by going to the right. Up in this area, that's the main yard, and to the right we'll go up this little berm. And we're just going to walk the property, look at the fencing, look at the area that's mowed, get a glimpse of just what the lay of the land is and how the property is situated. Up there you can see the house. We're just walking around. We're at the property line nearest to the neighbor's house right now, and it's mature trees and bushes, and you can't really see the neighbor house except during those winter months when the leaves are off the trees. Take another glimpse up at the property, up at the driveway. I'm going to keep walking around. There's a little area that's mowed through here that creates a path. And there's one pile right there that needs to remain, pushed back like that, of fallen limbs and cut down trees. It's fine to stack those trees in that area. This is kind of the hidden area from the house. And as you walk around, you can see the mowed portion and the non-mowed portions and the trails. And when we lived here, we had motorcycle paths and AT paths all through these woods. You can do that, or you can ride horses. This is the main part of the backyard. We're in the process of redoing the roof on this walk-in shed or horse barn. As a point of reference, there's the barn. Over here, this side, there's more mowed area. Just creates a few little hideaways as you walk through here. Deer paths. Again, when we lived here, we had paths going back through there. So it's not that hard to create some paths for either riding or for walking. Going up behind the horse barn. Of course, all this debris and stuff will be cleaned up before we're done doing this little project. From this behind the horse barn to the fence is probably 20 yards or so, and then it gets quite a bit deeper through here to the fence, maybe up to 30 or 40 yards in some spots. But again, let me pan the yard. There's the front of the horse walk-in shed, and we'll take just a little bit closer look. There's one door, two doors, and there's this cover here, and then in here there's another large stall, and then on the far end over there you'll see there's two more stalls. There's running water on that far corner over there, and we're in the midst of cleaning some of this up, this foliage and stuff. So going back down toward the end of the property, again, more little cut-in clearings where their mowing is done, just to keep, keep it interesting. And the far end of the property, this is what we put the most of the limbs that fall, and you just manage the grounds better by having this down here. helps out. Beyond that limb pile, it goes quite a ways further. That big tree that you see in the very far back is the property corner. It's basically just a pie-shaped property ending there, and the fence coming in from each side, meeting at that tree. We're walking around. Again, you'll see more mowed areas giving access to some of the fence line, and you'll see that this is U.S. parkland right there, National Park Service, U.S. boundary, and you'll see those signs every once in a while. If there are ever any fallen trees or anything, if you call them, the number is on the bulletin board in the house. They'll come and repair the fence and remove the trees or take care of that. Okay, so that is the National Park Service side of the property. The other side of the property, which we're going to walk up now, is the conservancy, owned by some conservancy group. I think it's about 300 acres. If you follow that path all the way back, you'll get to that big tree that I talked about. And it's a huge tree. Over there is the fence line. And you can see the mowed area in relationship to the trees, and the bushes, and the horse shed, and so on and so forth. I'm going to move this limb and put it over there right now. There we go. Go back over here. Alright. So as you walk up this side, you'll see that it's about 20 or so yards, 15, 20 yards to the fence, and then it tapers in until it gets to the fence line. There's some area under these back 3 pine trees that hasn't been cleared, but when I rented it to the prior tenants, this area was all mowed and cleared. I just haven't had time to get to it. So if I had enough time before I went back to Florida, I would have mowed that as well. Okay, and cleared those trees. If I have time before I go back, I will do that. But typically this part of the property is mowed to the fence line, all the way up to that other barn. There's a couple areas that still need to be cleared. This one's fairly minor. Up there closer to the barn, on the other side of that fence, you'll notice is where the cornfield. It usually just stays like that. They grow it every year and then they plow it under pretty much. As we get closer to the outbuilding, you'll see that this is a little more tightly mowed, a little better kept, and of course it's in plain view of the house. There's a greenhouse that needs some restoration, but it's overall in pretty good shape. As you go behind this barn, you're right at the fence here, maybe 20 feet or so to it. You can walk all the way around. As you can see, it's all cleared. If you look up on the roof, you'll see it's clean, and the gutters are all clean, and same is true on the other side. In this area, you'll see that the fence line is visible all the way to the end of the probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pine trees from the barn. Here's the barn or outbuilding. Roof's in good condition, gutters are clear, everything's in pretty good shape. In this barn, there is a provision for a electric service if you wanted a separate service, so the outbuilding and the horse shed have power. That's where that would be put in. The power company can come and do and put in a 100 amp service or whatever you request. This is the inside of this outbuilding. There's the power box. That water spigot there does work. There's a valve inside the house to turn it on and off. As you walk out this outbuilding, if you look to the left toward the horse stall, you'll see another water spigot. And then there's also another one at the horse stall. I'm going to zero in on it a little bit. There it is. Then I'm going to pan back out. We're going to continue our little walking tour. As you go through these apple trees, there's about 15 of them. Most of them are not producing fruit anymore. A couple of them are maybe need to be cut down because they're dying. But they're still, you know, come to life in the spring, and they're just not producing anymore. There's a little campfire thing or burn thing. As you walk back out here toward this grape arbor, the house, backyard of the house, back view of the house. You come up here. I'm going to go around to the right of the grape arbor, and you'll see starts allowing a little bit more buffer now between the fence line. Not mowed quite as tight, but this tree here is a big canopy tree that is sort of the marker for the backyard. But you know, it goes, you know, that's what the last thing you see when you look out from the house, but the property goes well beyond it to this other little clearing down here where we stole some fill dirt to use around the house. Now the fence line is probably 20 or 30 yards up that direction, and runs parallel to Route 65. Sharpsburg Pike. And then you'll see another path through here that you can walk through this row of pines, and it goes all the way down to the front gate, and then is mowed all the way to the fence line once you get to this first pine tree. So we can walk down this way. And that's basically it. Down there where that car's parked, that's the fellow who's doing the roof on the horse stall. That's the driveway and the gate. And then all these tall pines, you have survived pretty well. Once in a while we have a hard winter or a windstorm that takes a couple of them down or damages the limbs, and then they have to be picked up and cleaned up. So we'll cut through these this hedgerow here, and then the house will become visible again. And there's the house on the garage side, looking out toward the front yard. And you look to the left, there's a flagpole there, the grape arbor, the apple orchard, the outbuilding, the greenhouse, the open field that's been mowed. Far down there's the horse stalls, then the back of the house. That pretty much does the exterior, kind of shows how it's been mowed and kept over the years. There's still a few fallen limbs here and there, but for the most part, you know, it's a really, you know, well-maintained yard, and that's sort of the expectation of the tenants, to keep it at least as good as it is now, and of course better is, you know, always appreciated. That's it.